Hello, hospitality, and welcome to another episode of the Schulering Hub podcast, Talking Hospitality. And today, I am actually wanting to learn a lot more about one side of hospitality that I know almost nothing. And for that, I called a veteran in the MICE area of hospitality to talk to us, Mauricio Guerrero. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Mauricio, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to talk to you. You've been in the MICE area for a very long time. You collaborate even with our family hotels in the past. I have some funny stories that we share, but please introduce yourself to our audience and tell a little bit about our story.
Okay, my name is Mauricio Guerrero. I am original from Ecuador, but I have started to travel 32 years ago. I have lived in China for 2 years. I am mentioning this because that's the reason why I'm in the Czech Republic this moment. I have met my wife, my first wife, she's a Czech lady, in China. And that's the reason because I have finished here in Czech Republic in December 92. Since this time, I can say since January 93, I have started to work in the travel industry and the hospitality. I have worked 10 years for Pegasus. It's an Austrian company, very large company, and I have been there for 10 years. That means I have made my career. I have learned all the basics of this business in Pegasus. And then when I have finished in Pegasus, I have opened my own company with some partners here in Prague. The name was Tailor Made Tours. After several years, I have sold my shares and became one of the largest international DMC specializing in MICE, that is premium incoming, with offices in Spain, in London, in Italy, in Prague still. And I have based my jobs, my work, my experience in Central Europe, based in Prague. That means Central Europe, considering part of Germany, Hungary, Austria, Czech Republic, and Slovak Republic. This is my area or performance. And from these 31 years in the hospitality, at least 25, maybe a little bit more, involved in the MICE segment. Because in the very, very beginning, I have been working in leisure business, but in some way, the history of my business, my life have bring me more to the MICE segment, and I have stayed there. It's a passion, is a thrilled segment that is changing dramatically in the last years and will change more. I'm really, really excited to talk with you because after our first meeting, I was really, very excited with your idea about how to use all the technology and to teach the people, to educate the people, to motivate the people to come to our segments, because our segment is part of the hospitality and travel industry, of course, but it's a very specific segment, and I will say even more than this, is very dedicated according to the areas and geographical zones, because MICE for a Spaniard is not the same like MICE for an Italian, and it's not the same like MICE for a French guy or a French company or a German. They have different points of view, angles, how they are taking the MICE segment. And actually, this is very interesting because it's good to learn the basis. That helps to everybody to understand what we are talking about, from where is coming these ideas, what we are trying to perform. But in the other side, the individuality of each market in relation with the destination that you are handling is really, really important. And I am saying all the time, I have saw in one of the shows that I have participated, one phrase that I love, that is the power of the local knowledge. And this is a lot to do with MICE, because in the MICE, you have the famous DMC, Destination Management Companies, specialized in MICE segment. And it's the power of the local knowledge, because now with all these technologies, you can reach an hotel, you can reach a restaurant, you can reach a transporter. I mean, the distance are not the same like in 92, 93. You can reach solid contacts using communication methods, but you still need the local power of the local knowledge, because the destination management company, they know a lot of details that you cannot handle via online. And this is the very nice thing that I found in the MICE segment. You all the time need somebody to understand your needs, your personal point of view, what you think is for you MICE. And this is super excited because you are learning all the time. I am in the industry 31 years and I'm learning things all the time. New ideas, new proposals, technical things that are going in fastest that we can really not handle. I have been in a show weeks ago and they are performing now with aromas.
With aromas.
Aroma. I mean, you can imagine that means you are presenting a perfume in a hall for 300 people, and you are talking about lavandula, and you start to smell lavandula. I mean, they are putting in levels that you cannot believe it. But yes, it's very exciting. It's very thrilling. I mean, I like it. I like it really. After many years, I'm really still excited about to explore new things.
That's amazing. So, like our listeners now, we will notice why I wanted to talk to you, to bring and talk to mice, because of this passion that you have about the intro, about the segment, and there's a lot that we can learn. I have lots of questions actually, but I have some friends and family that been listening to our podcast, and if we keep talking about mice, they will think that we're talking about an infestation in the hotels. So let's get back a little bit. In mice, it refers to meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. But what are the key differences between them?
I mean, it's the name MICE is trying to put all together the concepts that we are handling, but a meeting, in order to go word by word, meeting, incentive, conventions, and exhibition or events. Somebody says that the E is exhibitions or events. A meeting is a get-together for some group of persons that they have the same kind of interest. Could be a meeting of architects, doctors, dentists, painters, journalists. This is a meeting. They have a purpose. They meet together to get information for their segments, to get this. And this is bringing a lot of needs like hotels, transportation, meeting spaces, meeting technical things. Then you have the incentive. Incentive, the word itself is saying what it is. It's usually companies that trying to incentivize the employees, the clients, both of them in the same time. Large companies, they're saying, okay, we have make a very nice year. We want to invite our sales force to make them feel that we are grateful about the work that they have made it, or in some companies, it's part of the income that the people is making. If we reach this target, everybody of us, we will get in a very nice trip. And usually the incentive doesn't involve meeting. It's just a get together and enjoy a destination with nice restaurants, nice experience, very excited program. This is the incentive. The meeting incentive convention is a sort of get together from participants, usually with a scientific purpose. The convention have usually a scientific purpose. For example, endocrinology congress convention in Prague. It's congress and convention, we can use the same word. That means it's a scientific purpose, and everybody's coming from different countries. Usually are very large conventions, like conventions for doctors, or for example, like we have handled a convention for the Witness of Jehovah, this church, 3,000 people, or a convention for collectionists of coins. It's different, but they have usually a scientific purpose or some very clear purpose. And exhibitions or event, the same name. An exhibition could be that you are presenting for the general public or professionals a product. For example, a classical exhibition is the IBTM Barcelona, World Travel Market. This is kind of events. It's a exhibition of products, could be services or products. For example, a couple of months ago, we have been involved in an exhibition in Düsseldorf that was presentation for new machines that they are making paper. Different machines that they are making paper. That this is a get-together of all the producers in the world that they are constructing machines to create paper. And this is could be new tractors, new cars, this kind of thing. This is the famous MICE, meeting, incentive, conventions, and events. The borders are quite clear in theory, but in the practice could be mixed, because a convention for doctors also could have an incentive part, because they are invited for some company to make an incentive part during a convention. That is, the borders are not so limited. That means this is part of the idea that is. But basically, this is the MICE. Originally was a solution to use the extra profits and not pay too much tax. In the end of the day, large companies have found that they have made a big profit 1 year. Two possibilities: or pay very high taxes, or reinvest this money in motivate people, invite people. Marketing is a tool of marketing, is a tool of motivation of staff, is a tool to use to put everybody together. And it's a very useful tool to put people that they are in the same line of work or ideas or scientific purpose. This is the world of mice. Like you can see, is huge because you are talking about 20 persons invited to have a luxus trip, or you have 2,000 people coming to an endocrinology congress or convention.
It's a very wide segment of the industry. And if you think like you point so many benefits that are included, of course, because you have all the people that are coming to a hotel or coming to the city. There's so many players involved also in delivering this event or delivering this conference. But when it comes to hotels, like what should the hotels do if they want their MICE revenue to be more relevant in their portion of in the share?
This is a very, very interesting question, a very important question, because it depends a lot of the kind of hotel that you have. Because, for example, if you have an hotel that have large conference facilities, like a lot of hotels in our region, huge conference spaces, of course, your goal must be to bring events with convention, with conferences. You must have a very strong sales department involved with conference, conventions, associations to get these people, because of course you will sell accommodation, the basic word for each hotel in the world. Then you have food and beverage, but the main magnet to bring these people will be the conference facilities. Then you have other hotels that they don't have so large conference spaces, but they have maybe a great location, is a great property. This is perfect hotel for incentives, because usually the incentive business doesn't look for conference spaces. They need great restaurant for breakfast, a great location of the hotel, great views, depends on activities, depends on this. This is the point. In the point of view, when you have conventions, or for example, that we have now in Prague these days, the hockey, that is an event, the World Cup hockey, almost all the hotels are full with the fans for different countries. In this point of view, the conference facilities are not the main thing, because the fans are coming to have close to the stadiums, close to the restaurants to enjoy. That means it's very diverse, but depends on the kind of property that you are handling. That is the very important point, because I have found that some hotels that they are putting in the sales department people that are coming with a background that maybe doesn't match with the kind of hotel that they have. It's not the same sell an hotel with 750 rooms and conference facilities for 1,000 people, then sell an hotel with 100 rooms but very high luxury level. It depends which property you have, how you market your property. It's very basic, but in the end it's also very tricky, because you can say, I have conference spaces, but I am also well located, I have a lot of activities I can make. Yes, is the balance. Is the balance how you could handle. That means the room revenue manager with the sales people, they must to balance the forecast of occupation. This is a good business with conferences, but I don't want to sacrifice my rooms because in this period I will have another needs. It's a day-by-day forecast control of the room inventory.
And like you mentioned something very interesting when it comes mainly to what we're trying to do here, that is create that opportunity to develop skills and try to understand who we are in this industry and how we can better serve. And you just mentioned that sometimes hotels choose a person that's not the profile to be selling events in the hotel because of the type of skills they have or the contacts they have. How would you select the skills of the salesperson for a hotel that is controlling the MICE department?
Me personally, I am all the time thinking that the balance in the sales force is the important. You need the young bloods with a lot of energy, with a lot of ideas, with a lot of motivation to go forward. But at the same time, you need a couple of seniors that could correct this enthusiasm and try to find more realistic solutions. But the important is the balance, because you cannot put in a sales department only young bloods, because no sphere. You cannot put only very senior people because they don't have the drive. And in sales, you need the drive. And for me, the more important thing is that the owner of the hotel, the top management of the hotel, must to understand what is the product that they have, and they must to be ready to teach and train everybody. It's non-stop training. It's not to send them to a product marketing visit to another hotel. Yeah, this is important, but this is a day by day, just with the young people, with the young bloods. I'm calling young bloods the colleagues that they are starting now. they need some mentoring all the time, and the mentors need some challenges, some mentoring. That means it's a non-stop school system that each house must learn how to develop it, because for some people works very well the academic thing, just to conference sitting, these are things. For other people needs more motivating systems how to learn. But this, understand the product that you have, this is an hotel, understand the human resources that you are handling, and prepare for them the right teaching methods to go forward. With these three basic concepts, I think you can develop different ideas. Of course, this is very basic, because in the middle of this is a lot of little shortcuts and things that you must learn how to handle. But I think it's important to get this balance in the sales force of the hotels.
Yeah, and when you are talking to a hotel and looking at the facilities, like trying to help your clients to select the right place to host, what do you look for in a hotel? Besides, of course, if matches, like the space matches what the hotel room is, for example, what they serve as an experience as well. What is the secret ingredient that you're looking for?
For me, the very important ingredient, besides all these absolutely clear things that you must have, the capacity of the hotel, the kind of this, the location, these is things that you have very clear, because usually it's coming in the request of the client. I want this. This is not the first time that they are playing something like this. For me, the super important thing is to have 1-2 contact persons in the hotel that they have the attitude, yes, I can. Because all the time, each event, incentive, miles, whatever it is, have special needs. And each client have special requests or things that they want to do. And if you found all the time, no, this is not possible. No, this is not possible. This starts the problem. I want to people that have when I have booked, many hundreds of hotels for events, I want the people that help me with an attitude, because I know our limitations. I know that the hotel cannot transform completely the structure for one event. But two important things: the person with the attitude that yes, I can, and in case that is a no, how to say no. Mm-hmm. Because in front of the client it's important to learn how to say no, because some things are not possible, are not feasible. An hotel with wood in all the conference, they will not allow you to kneel their things. It's things like this. You must have found another solution, but you must to learn how to say no, because usually this is the point. The client is coming with a lot of ideas, with a lot of illusion, and you must to a little bit land the ideas and how to say no. But the attitude, this is for me the important thing, because the rest of the things you can solve it, but you have stuff in the hotel that this is not possible. This is bringing us again, it's training.
100%. It's definitely something that can be trained, something that can be evolved, something that can be explored. But you need courage, I believe, from the management to first understand what is going on and then create that learning path that will develop that skills to say no or to actually handle requests. But if that's what you're looking for, now, when you're talking to the hotels, what are the biggest challenges that you face? Is that the attitude that you're facing? That's why you mentioned that?
Yeah, I will say yes, because the other challenges, are something that is part of our day by day. Found the right rate, it's about discussion. Found the right location, because some hotels have, okay, I cannot offer you this room for your meeting, but I can offer you this other room alternative and find the solution, or maybe change the date that I can give you. These kind of things are very basic if you want to book some event. But again, the attitude is super important. And depends also with which client you are bringing to the hotel, because usually the DMC, the chain is like this. This is a client from abroad or from the same country that they are using an incentive house or DMC, that is a middleman, to bring in front of the hotel. It's not so common that the end client is approaching the hotel. Could happen, but usually is in this case only one middleman less. But again, you must have found the hotel attitude. Depending on the size of the hotel, I love when the hotel have the so-called in-house manager, or with another title, depending on the house. That means somebody that is not in charge about prices. This is already negotiated. It's not in charge about specific things like F&B, the menu or something like this. It's not in charge about the check-in, but is in charge in some way the contact with the client in order to solve all these points. You have one contact or two persons, depending on the size of the event, and this person is your contact. I need different chairs. I will find it. I need this, I will found it. That means this in-house operator is very helpful when you have groups in a certain size. If it's very small, maybe not, but yes. Anyway, you need a contact person, because if not the client, I need something in reception, I must go to the reception. And I need something for a conference and banqueting, I must go to other in the end say, come on, I am the client. Give me one contact and solve you inside. It's simple like this. A lot of houses have this. I am using an example. I don't want to make commercial free, but a lot of houses have this kind of persons, this kind of staff, and they are performing well. Our large chain companies, they know what we're talking about, and it's a good experience. But again, the person who is in the front of this service must to have the attitude, the drive.
And I got very curious now to learn a little bit how your day look like. Because it's such a big thing that so many people, so many players, so many variables that are involved in making that a success. So how does your day look like?
First, I think you need a team, because it's a teamwork. I mean, not one person could handle this. It's better to have a team. Somebody, we are using the word project manager. That is a person that itself is a multi-target person, because must to handle with transport, travel guides, menus, restaurant, hotel, special requests from the client. But of course, in the back office, if we can call it like this, you have a team. That means somebody in charge for this, for this, for this. Then in advance, the large companies or middle-sized companies, they have already a sort of suppliers that you are working already sometime. That means if you need buses, you don't have new company each time. You have a one supplier or two suppliers, and this is the guys that will provide you with these tour guides and this. Hotels is the same thing. You have a lot of hotels that you are quite loyal to these kinds of hotels, because you know it's the kind of hotels that is helpful, brings you to good solutions. And when you get requests, you have the idea to bring to these hotels, or you have another alternative hotel. But this is a multi-target, and my day by day is just to wake up, open the mail, it's already full of things, and start to make project management. That means you must to be very, very focused in a project management. That means when I was handling teams for 20, 25 people, I know who was in charge for what, a sort of morning meeting. When I am making my project manager myself, I have my table. This is the schedule. Try to organize your time, your project management, the timing, really.
And like you bring so much experience, right? And I can see it, like you have the passion, you have the drive, you have that experience. So you are in a great position to actually even tell our hoteliers here, like a suggestion to them. What would you tell them as a suggestion that they could improve their mindset?
I mean, it's tough to say, because in my city, in our city, they know me, and I don't want to sound that don't tell them what they must to do. I don't want to be arrogant. But from the client point of view, in the last years, I am looking that there's a lack of training of the young staff. Mm-hmm. Because of course, we must understand that COVID have shocked everybody in our industry. Still, we are feeling some part of this. A lot of experienced middle management have left the industry to another segments that are more secure. That means COVID have created a gap between the top management and the young management, because the middle level management was the management that essentially have left the house. Mm-hmm. To another segments. They are performing very well in another business, because very capable people, languages, skills in computer. That means they are good stuff for any industry. But this, I will say now, is important to motivate the very young people, to make them understand that this is a career. That means you start in a reception that is very basic work. You have hours, nights, Saturdays, Sundays, but come on, this is the beginning. You can go, because I remember when I have started very young, I have saw that is a projection of my efforts, that I can arrive somewhere. And this is something that I will say not like a critic, but like my feeling, that the very young people doesn't see the sense why they are sacrificing a lot of things, because this job is a lot of time sacrifice. Mm-hmm. If they take this like a job to get a salary, something is wrong, or the attitude of the employee or the motivation of the employer. But in our business cannot be only that I'm getting a salary, I'm going home, because it's too complicated to keep this like this.
I love that, because that's what we're trying to really do, right? Like getting people to get motivated, at least from the learning perspective, if they cannot see the positive of the salary side, because we're still a little bit behind on that, but at least if you can see that evolution would be a great. I like your suggestion. We got a line, we're thinking a line, we have the same name. But if we can think about the future now, Mauricio, we just were chatting before, there are many challenges with environmental, climate change, events, they are big, there's a lot involved in them. What the future holds for events and for conference, for meetings, where are we going?
I mean, it's very challenging now, because from one side, I remember a couple of years ago before COVID, everybody have started to talk about the wow effect. Till now, I have not a clear idea what is the wow effect, because a lot of people saying the wow effect, but could be many things. For these people, this is wow. For the person, it's Mickey Mouse. One thing. Second thing, the challenge is the technical things, because since the last period I am working bit more closer to an audiovisual technical company, I have found there that there are really fantastic things in the AV world that maybe our segment is not using in full. That means we know how to make a very nice conference about LED wall lights, but this is like the hardware of the idea. We need to rely more in the production, creative people in the technical side, because they are bringing a lot of ideas that we are not ready to understand, because we are not so technicians like them. They have the idea, the concepts to modulize all these technical things and create fantastic things. Drone shows, that is very sustainable actually, or LED walls that create effects, 3D artists that they are creating this kind of effects that they are going out of because you must to impress the audience. 15 years ago, everybody we have retro projection, we have this. Now we have LED walls. I mean, you in your telephone have fantastic things. If you invite people to a convention, you must to impress them in the first 3 minutes, 2 minutes. If you don't get the attention of them in the first 2 minutes, they start to look the phone. That means rely in the technical advantages and rely a little bit more in the technical production, in the guy that knows how to do it. And the other challenge that we have talked about is the sustainability, because this is a challenge. Because if you want to move 200 people, 300 people or more, to keep the event sustainable is a big challenge. But I am convinced that we must find solution how to make more sustainable our events, because if not, we will start to be a problem, not a solution. And this is bad, because it's not only that the hotel is sustainable, it's not only that the participants are sustainable, it's a complete change of mentality of the whole industry in order to get some results. Because if we don't push from all the sides, I am afraid that the results of make better carbon footprint, just to use a measuring, is nothing. I mean, we are not creating any impact. It's not about to say, I am sustainable. No. We are saying we must to be constantly and permanent in this purpose to get a better sustainable product, like events, nice.
Yeah, I participated in the ITB Berlin this year, and they incentivize you to take the train to go to the event. So you pay a little bit more for your carbon footprint, but I still don't see something that's really concrete that we can see like, okay, that was better than last year, at least. That I could not see straight away the evolution from the previous year to this year when it comes to the impact that we are actually making. I think that more and more the measurement tools will come now as a consumer, but you coming from the creators, it's interesting to see that we are in the same boat, all having the same challenges, right?
Yeah. And basically also I will say that we must start to be more conscious about the audits, about carbon footprint that we are getting, because yes, a lot of events are using now the audit of the carbon footprint. It's a lot of very serious company making this audit, but it's not that you get the report and we have not performed well. We have been better than the last time. Needs to take these results and get the work done.
Wow.
We must in this item we have been really bad. We must to correct this, how to do it. Okay, the next time, maybe it's very radical, not people flying, just we will bring all the Europeans, to say some example, by train. Because in Europe, we can reach everything by train. It takes time. It's not so comfortable because instead of 2 hours flight, it will be maybe 10 hours train. But in some moment, we must to find some solution like this, because if not, the meetings, incentive conventions and events produce a lot of garbage. That means we are transporting important amount of people. We are creating nice events. We are creating fantastic moments for the participants. But for the cost in the point of view, sustainability is very high. But I think we are everybody in the same idea. It's just to keep the direction, keep the path, and we will find solutions. We are creative people.
Mauricio, that was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much. Very much. What a class that we got here. How can our audience contact you, please?
Sorry?
How can our audience get in touch with you?
Oh, right. You have my mail, my telephone. I think you can just put it in some way in the system, because this is the best. I'm available 24/7 in my phone. It's my mail there. Send me mails. I am in contact with pleasure. Any question.
I will do. Schulering, thank you very much for listening. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.